Welcome to the CRACKITLIVE business show. You are our first guests on this pilot program. I'm happy to welcome you on board.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. It's a pleasure, and I'm really anticipating for a good way to crack it in my business. I mean.
All right, great.
Thank you.
All right. So Gloria Robson is a business lady, and she's brought a major challenge to be cracked in our business. I'll allow Gloria to introduce what the major challenge is in our business, where she is and where she desires to be. Most importantly, where she wants to be, where she is now, and then we can crack the way to connect.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate this opportunity to be able to put out my business, bring my business to this table. So what I basically do is that I run Parkway Consulting, and we're into consulting for organization. We do trainings and every other thing that helps the other businesses to grow, especially if the business is people's oriented business. So that's what we do. But I've run the business for the past 6 years. And at this point, I've started having this hunger, this longing to scale. So the basic challenge that I have in my business is trying to scale. I feel that we've done enough on the ground level, and trying to move into a different level or a higher level where we can provide more solutions to organization in terms of trainings and consulting for this organization. It looks like it's bigger than what my team and I can handle right now, because of the things that we really want to put in place. We want to make sure that we expand our capacity. We want to make sure that whatever it is that is the challenge or the solution that is needed in other organizations, and we're there, we're called upon, we're able to do it, with all confidence. So, but the basic challenge is, how do we go about it? How do we take the business to the next level? It looks a little bit dicey, a little bit like we're on the crossroad right now. We don't want to keep doing things the same way we've been doing. That's why I came to you. That's why I came to you as a coach. I mean, you've been able to help other businesses. So I want a situation where you can look into my business and say, okay, this is it. And probably there are other questions that you may ask me that can help me, come up, with things that you may need to help me crack this, because I just want a situation that we're able to get to a point where we can provide these solutions to these organizations without feeling like we're doing nearly the same thing all the time. And we don't also want to present what others are presenting. So we want to stand, come out on a unique way and put out what it is that we have as solution on the table.
All right, Gloria, thank you so much. It's nice hearing you. I'll go a little bit specific in my question. What exactly does Parkway Consulting do? What are those specific solutions that you render to organizations? So I'll ask you 2 questions at once. That's the first question. The second question is, can you clearly tell me what the picture of success for you is? When you have attained the success you are hoping, you are looking forward to, what exactly is it? I want you to say it in black and white. So the first question is, exactly what solutions do you offer to organizations? That's number one. Okay, so that's number one. Number 2 is, I'll add a second question. What are the constraints? What are the challenges? What is that hurdle that you are struggling, that you think you are unable to cross? And number 3, what is the clear picture of where you see Parkway Consulting? What clearly, Parkway, for me, the picture of success for Parkway is when we are able to do this, we're able to do that, when we are able, just give me three, and then we can take it off from there.
Okay, so the first question you asked is, what do we do in Parkway Consulting? So Parkway Consulting is the organization that helps to train staff of other organizations on soft skills. So we basically train on soft skills. For example, our basic and our strongest tool that we use is etiquette. We use etiquette to train as a tool to train staff and everyone, of course, personal and corporate brands. That's our target audience. We have them in each organization. So we train them on everything that has to do with soft skill, whether it is, anything etiquette, business etiquette. We have so many other trainings that we do. And of course, executive presence, everything that helps any organization to be able to, have that confidence to be able to present themselves, customer service. We take care of all that. So it's basically Parkway is strong on trainings on soft skills that helps organizations to be well positioned. And for those who like to present themselves on a global level, we help them to fix in that particular training that probably they want trainings on etiquette, they want trainings on executive presence, they want trainings on customer service, they want trainings on courtesy, they want trainings on poise and social graces. Those are what few of the trainings that we do in Parkway Consulting. And actually, we have Parkway Finishing School. So it's a finishing school where people come in and they learn all they need to learn to keep them standing and help them to float very well in their capacity and in the niche that they are. And this cuts across every niche. It's not niche specific. As long as you are in need, you feel that your organization needs to enjoy this training and become better performers, better presenters, you're able to present whatever it is that you have, we come in to help you do that. And then also help you on the consulting aspect. We help you put structure in place for people who want to start up new businesses. We help them to build the right structure that they need to put in place. Okay, this is what you need to put in place. This is what you want to put in place to help your staff perform well and to be able to bring out the results that you want. So that's basically what Parkway Consulting does. That's the offer that we give to our clients. And question number 2, where are we hoping to, or where's that place that we want to scale to, if I'm correct?
The question number 2 is what is the hurdle? So, okay, no, continue in the line. No, tell me where you want to scale to. The picture of success for Parkway. How would you describe success for Parkway? Then you now circle back again and now tell me what's the hurdle. Specifically, what is that hurdle that you're trying to cross?
Okay, so the picture of success that I have as the executive director of Parkway, the picture of success that we have is to be able to see ourselves in the nearest future, 5 years' time. We're able, number one, we're able to train. For now, we've been able to do few organizations. We're able to train specific organizations. We place numbers to it because, of course, business is number. So we decided to place number to it, and we said that in the next 5 years, we want to be able to train both personal brands and corporate brands. We want to train, on the personal brand level, we should be catching up on about, let's just say about 2,000, brands. And then, of course, on a corporate brand where we have to work with organizations, we should be able to have these organizations, we should be able to train at least 20 organizations. So we're putting it that way so that it helps us to run, it helps us to move. In the next 5 years, we want to be able to boast of being able to give these values or these solutions to these numbered organizations. that we've put together. And then we also definitely have our target audience, organizations that we want to work with. We have our target audience and we say, okay, we want to be able to reach out to these particular organizations here and there to be able to get them to, perform better in whatever it is that they're presenting to their world. And then the third question, I don't know if I've been able to tackle the second one, because I know whatever it is that I'm telling you is going to help you to help us crack, the challenge. So the basic challenge that we have is fine. Most times, I don't want to put finances, at the forefront, because I know that if we do our jobs very well, we will be able to generate income to be able to move to the next level. I also know that their business cannot move to the next level until they are able to, and that's where the Crackit come in. I mean, we are ready for you to tell us, okay, if you do this, you're going to be able to move to the next level. But the basic challenge that we have in Parkway right now is we want to own our own space. We don't want a situation where we are moving. Every time we have training, we are moving to the next level. So we want to different places. We want to be able to have our own space, which of course we're eyeing. We have few places that we're eyeing. But then when we look at what is involved, what will it pay? The question that we're having, or the dilemma that we're having right now, is if we get a place of our own, of what benefit is it? Is it going to pay us, or we keep paying for spaces where we run our trainings, or we keep moving to go to organizations to do trainings for them, which we've been doing over the years. So now we want to have our own space, a bigger space that we can actually, own and say, okay, this is our own. But is it going to be business-wise? Will it benefit us? Aren't we going to be spending money, paying rent, and at the end of the day, are we going to be able to gather benefit to say, okay, this is it, this is it? Is that going to be able to generate profit? Because we actually don't want to float. We want to make sure that we have a space of our own to be able to do this thing, and then have other sources of income that we can use to generate money into the business. So that's the point where we are. That looks like challenge for us right now. But of the truth, being the fact that we've had jobs and we had to most times go to the organizations or go to the individuals, or we go to places to rent to make use of, we've gotten to a point where we feel that we've grown and we want to be able to, get a space of our own. But then we're beat at the crossroad to know whether it's going to really pay us to be able to do that, saying that we have, people we have to pay at the end of the time. And we don't want to just keep spending money like that. We just want to be business-wise in whatever decisions that we take. So that's where the basic challenge is for us.
Yes. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, I'm going to be asking you a few other questions. Who are your key competitors now? Just give me 3 of your competitors, top competitors.
Am I supposed to mention names?
Why not if not? It's Crackit, you're free. Whatever name you mention here, you can't be held to it. But it's your competition. This is real. This is real.
Okay. Okay, so every time I tell myself and my team that these are our competitors, it looks like, oh, these people have been there a long time ago. So you can't crack it, like you can't go in there together. But something happened lately where we became on a business Google My Business. We became the second to our competitor, and for the fact that a particular organization wanted soft skill trainings from us. They came in and they made inquiries, and then we gave them our fees for them to go pay. And then they were kind of telling us their budget. This is what they want to do. But then they have another vendor that will be willing. They've gone to the vendor already, and I couldn't imagine that it is this same competitor that we thought was bigger than us. Far bigger. They've been there since. So when we now discover that that other vendor they went for instead of us, because the vendor went back to them and said, okay, bring it, we can do this for you. Okay, so the other vendor we went to is that same competitor that we've always had, that, oh, this is this person. And I'm like, and I asked questions to my team, and I said, if they could come down to take this amount, then that means the land is green for us, you know. I wouldn't want to, actually wouldn't want to mention the names of my competitors. I mean, because I know this is going to go on air. I think I prefer that I keep them as my competitor and we're moving with it. The reason is because I know what it takes. Once we get on air and we see that these people get to see that they are our competitor, it looks like, oh, these new people that just started, we're not really new. Well, this is 6 years on ground. But then I know we have 3 of them that we're actually looking at. They've been on ground since. And I know that if we actually put out what we're up to, if we can learn the things to do and do better, we'll be able to get them. So I don't know, permit me not to mention them, because I know I don't want a situation where it looks like, oh, they've come out to say that we are their competitors. Oh, really? So they are competing with us? No, I don't want to do that kind of a thing, coach. I think I want a situation where we are quiet about it and we're able to conquer quietly, like, you know.
Okay.
But I know that we need 3 of them to be able to, and I hope this will be able to help you to work, because I mean, it's not wise to me to mention that these people are our competitor. I mean, it's business. We're in business together. And I'm just looking at it. I hope you understand.
All right, so it's okay. I will allow you, maybe because I didn't lay that rule of engagement at the beginning. So on Cracklive, what happens is that Cracklive is exactly the way it was. It could have been done, you know, in a private session, but it's okay. I will give an exception to you. You know, you are the first on our show, so I won't put you under a lot of pressure. So here is my point. For us to take Parkway Consulting forward, we are going to prepare. One of the things that we're going to work on is a comparative analysis table. On that comparative analysis table, we have columns that has the list of the competitors, the list of the people who are already doing exactly what you want to do. So to have them listed. Then that's on the columns. On the rows, we now have the key things that determine success in this space or in this industry. The key things that are the determining factors, we now list them: number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So imagine that there are 4 key competitors. If it was in the financial sectors, I know that KPMG will be there. I know that PwC will be there. I know that EY, Ernst & Young will be there, right? All of these are like the top 3. I think they used to be the big 4s: KPMG, PwC, EY, and one other one. Okay. So when you list 4 of them, you now add your own company as the 5th for your industry. So you identify them. You now identify what's the thing that stands competitor 1 out. What's the thing that stands competitor 2 out? What's the thing that stands competitor 3 out? So you need to identify all of those. The reason why I asked you that question is, I think on this journey, the first thing that needs to be done is to analyze the market that currently exists. And you're analyzing that market, you are trying to spot or identify the opportunities and the competitors. So I wanted to do it live. I wanted it to be practical, to say, okay, these are the competitors. And then the next question could have been, what are the opportunities? Now, the question of the opportunities will not be very clear until you ask yourself, what are the problems? So to your clients, you need to first play up the problems they are currently having. A lot of research work we have to go into this. A lot of insider information sourcing needs to go into this. The people that are doing business with them, what are the roadblocks that they are currently having? What are the problems they are currently having? You need to distill them. That is data. And some of this, you actually have to get insider information. Oh, these competitor A, they are the ones that we are working with. What are the problems you currently have with them? Some clients will now have a problem sharing it. Sometimes you even get them on social media, depending on the industry or the sector. So that's the first thing that you need to happen. You need to understand the problems in the industry, in the markets you want to serve.
Okay.
When you are able to articulate it properly, it tells you where the loopholes are, where the windows are. Now, the other thing I said, so you need to play up that problem very, very well. Then you now have to come, and I think there might need to be a focus on Parkway Consulting as a brand. So you might need to invest a bit more in building the brand. Parkway needs to represent something. Parkway product needs to represent something beyond just the features of the product, but the benefit that I had it as one of the points there, that how do you plan to productize your services? You keep calling it soft skills, but you see, you need to productize it. You need to give it a name. You need to give it a name that represents the benefit they are getting.
Okay.
Lagos Business School said we have a program called Owner Management Program. By its name already, you know what they are selling.
Okay.
Do you get? They were not out to sell academics. They were out to sell a benefit. And it's clear, Owner Management Program. So you need to productize what you sell to those organizations. But most importantly, you need to do a naming ceremony for Parkway Consulting. Who is Parkway? You need to define Parkway. What is the value proposition of Parkway? Now, I'm just going to throw up the questions and hoping that you go sit down and drill down on them. But you probably might need to get a coach, get someone to sit down, a strategist, and define the value proposition for the organization. What are your clear offers? What's that thing you're bringing to the table that you know that these other guys are not bringing to the table? Right? So you need to look at all of that. Now, for Parkway to move from where they are to where you want them to be, it is after you have analyzed the market, identified the opportunities and the competitors, and you've defined your value propositions, especially the things that set you apart from those competitors, the things that set Parkway. I see, in finding out the thing that set you apart, Gloria, you need to be very careful how you underrate what you have. So when you say big companies, you forget that size can be a limitation.
Okay.
David understood it very well. The story of, if you read Malcolm Gladwell's book, David and Goliath, he took his time to explain it. And he said people read that story, like it's just something written in a scriptural book. But it's a business lesson. David understood that one of the biggest constraints of big organization is their ease of change, their ease of response to change. Okay. They are not swift. They don't turn easily. It would take Goliath a lot to turn. David knew, I'm young, I'm smart, I can do this. What David could do like this, Goliath will take a long time. So don't be deceived by the illusion of bigness, for lack of, pardon that English. Don't be deceived. You run a young company that is agile. Focus more on your agility. So pay attention to what you are bringing to the table. Your value proposition is that thing that sets you apart from your competition. And it's clear. You're boasting about it. There is something that makes you Gloria that Lydia does not have. And you can boast about it. What is the thing that makes Parkway that Leadway does not have? And just pick that name that way. But you understand what I'm saying. You've got to sit down. You need to sit down and curate the strategy document of Parkway. That strategy document will answer key questions, about 10 to 12 questions that define Parkway in a unique way. After you're done with that, that is when you will now be able to clearly identify your strategic priorities. You know, you were saying, oh, should we get our place or should we keep renting? And I even thought to myself, or should we even add a third leg? Should we go digital? See, what you are offering, Gloria, what you don't know is that what you are offering is one of the biggest headaches that C-suite executives in Nigeria have. I can't tell you about Senegal. I can't tell you about Kenya. I may not tell you about South Africa, but in Nigeria, number one of the topmost headache they have is that the people working for them, they don't understand. We call this, they mistakenly call this soft skill in their time. I don't think it's soft skill. I think it's it's a hardcore skill. Etiquette. Oh, you think it's soft? Executive presence. Do you know how many CEOs cannot comfortably go for a meeting with certain people who are performers? Those guys are not done. They are performers. They're delivering, but they can't take them to their clients. What you need to articulate is, what name do you call that gap? The gap between the lady who can perform, the guy who can deliver excellently, or who you are ashamed of putting before a client. The day that's productizing it, that thing, when you say, bring these guys, I'm going to turn them to this. They are not paying for your training. They are paying for the outcome. Which I'm saying, you need to sit down and, rethink, reimagine your offers, right? Things like courtesy, boys. If you've worked, I'm sure you've worked with Gen Zs. Fantastic generation. They are brilliant to the teeth. They stand on their feet. They deliver results that you and I will take weeks and months. What is lacking in most of them are some of the things that you are selling. Yeah. And they are in the majority now. Between millennials and Gen Zs, they are dominating the job market. But their ease of exit is so fast. As they are getting the job, they are leaving. Yeah. So it's the ability to package this thing and brand it by the proper name, as well as brand your company. So you need to reimagine Parkway from what's the brand, define the brand, give it a name. And then, of course, you come back again. What product are we offering? Yeah. What benefit, what solution what is the end product? And sell it from those end products. And of course, the last but not the least is, how do we position, how do we come up with a market, even if it doesn't exist, for this thing we are selling? So that we're not trying to sell to everybody. Yeah. How do we create a market that, this is a market that buy this kind of things? Who are the kind of people that buy the kind of things that Parkway Consulting is selling? Are they in a defined space? How can we bring them out to that defined space? So the journey is a total package. A company called Parkway. There need to be a lot of investment in Parkway, and the brand Parkway, and the brand identity of Parkway, in the story of Parkway. in the value proposition of Parkway, what is the vision of Parkway? That vision has to be clear, succinct, and very, very explainable. What's the mission? What's the big picture? When we have done all of that, which market are we playing? How do we analyze that market? Right? What are the opportunities in the current Nigerian markets? You know, because of the jackpot that has just happened and that is still happening, organizations have been forced to promote people who don't have the charisma for the positions that they are occupying. It's a gap. It's a huge opportunity. But how are you communicating that to a corporate organization? How are you positioning Parkway as the go-to for those kind of solutions? So like I said, analyze the market, identify the opportunities, define the company value proposition, the Parkway value proposition, then identify your strategic priorities. And I will say this, you need to look at where technology can give you speed. So I want to reiterate again, in developing this Parkway consulting into a market leader, which is what I believe you're discussing, right? We need to analyze the current market that you're playing in and to identify the opportunities and the competitors. And I don't want to leave that at a very high level. Analyzing that market is what are the current problems plaguing the market? What are the big complaints that your competitors are getting from their customers? So if you were in the financial service sector, I would have just told you, the fact that the failure of digital platforms is a major problem plaguing commercial banks in Nigeria, and they are failing at it. That's why the digital banks are taking over, right? But anyway, that's the story for another guest. To analyze that, when you are done, define your company's Parkway's value proposition. It has to be clearly defined. Get a strategist to sit down and define Parkway in a way that it is simple, it cannot be mixed. And the only way you will know that you have defined Parkway is when people stop seeing Parkway as just another consulting firm and start seeing Parkway in the light of the solution you are bringing.
That's it.
You need to get to your point where you are invisible. Like forgotten this guy that did a teaching. He said how to build the invisible company. The invisible company is one that people can't label you.
Okay.
You are versatile in the solutions you're bringing, and people, they identify with you for the solution you are bringing, such that they can't easily box you, right? Once you are done with that, and that value proposition has to be one that sets you apart from your competitors, the next thing is now, it will now help you identify your strategic priorities. We can't start answering the question of, should we get a place or should we not get a place? The question is, why is it important for us? Everything that Parkway has to do must be subjected to the why question. Why? Why? Why not? Why? We have to keep asking that question. Because the question is, what is our strategic focus? That would define our strategic priorities. So if reach is a big focus for us, then do we think that having a physical presence will help us attain it faster than not? Depending on what our the answers to the initial question are asked come to, the question of whether we need a venue or whether we should focus on renting a venue or whether we should not even have a venue at all will be answered. There is a company called Mind Valley. It's a Malaysian company. I don't know if you've heard about them. They are into life transformation. And Mind Valley is actually one of the biggest personal development companies in the world today. Their biggest assets is their digital platform. So Mind Valley is able to proliferate into many cities, many organizations, because they are not limited by space. That's why I say it is the objective, the big vision that will determine what your strategic priorities should be.
Okay.
What we want to achieve. What is the vehicle that will get us fastest there? That's why if you think back 3-4 years ago, in the days when Okada, motorbikes were allowed in Lagos State, when you need something delivered fast, even today, when you want something delivered fast on a traffic day, you don't call an Uber, you don't call a Bolt, you call a dispatch rider.
Yeah, you're right.
If you want to deliver something in Kaduna and you want it fast, you don't call a dispatch rider from Lagos. You don't even call an Uber from Lagos. You air freight it.
Okay.
So our strategic priorities has to be shaped by a vision and the strategy that drives the organization. Parkway has to settle that fundamental so that we know where are we putting our money into. Look at banks that invested hundreds of millions into building branches. Gloria, when was the last time you entered a banking hall?
Everything is online now. I can't remember.
Yeah, but guess what? The new digital banks, the OPays, I'm sure you probably might be using one of them.
In fact, I have to open one lately.
Good. Do you know where their head office is?
No.
Have you even bothered? Does it even bother you? You know, it was the day one of the comedians was having a problem. I think it's Maleke. Well, he said he did a transfer, 2 transfers, 200 and 400, and the thing hanged. And he was just, jokingly saying that, see, listen, I'm getting frustrated. But wait, he said, come on, I don't even know where their office is. Sorry for using pidgin. I don't even know where their office is. It just dawned on him that, wait, I don't even know where their office. The thing is that these guys don't even have, they probably have one call center, one studio, for lack of a better word. But guess what? They are moving hundreds of millions, and I dare say if billions. Their overhead is next to nothing. So we need to say, what exactly does Parkway want to achieve? That will determine the vehicle that will take us there. When you have decided on your strategic priorities, whether it is research and development you need to invest in, whether it is building a head office or a training center, whether it is investing in digital media or technology, it's up to the previous questions to determine this direction. Of course, then you develop your action plans and keep on continuously monitoring your progress. But I think that there might be some technological angle, if not a huge technological side, to if really scale is that much of a big deal, right? So those are some of the things that you might need to pay attention to. And of course, you might also want to, now, even if you want to stay you want to get a physical place. I know you kind of alluded to the fact that the cost kind of was a deterrent. The other question I want to ask is, why don't you explore collaboration or partnership?
Okay.
There are outfits today that are expanding. I don't want to mention a particular name in Lagos because one of their outlets is constituting a nuisance on Oniru. So I don't want to mention their name. But you see, one of the things they are doing is collaborating with people who have the facility. They are bringing in what is being sold or what is making the money. The person that has the facility, and there is profit share somewhere. So you might also start looking at joint venture in that regard to say, okay, but for you to do that, they need to see the numbers. You need to work the numbers, run the numbers to say, this is how far we have done without having all of this. This is how much more we can do if we have this. So that cost benefit analysis has to be properly done. And of course, for Parkway to grow, you need trained and competent workforce.
Okay.
And the litmus test to that is if Gloria is the smartest person in Parkway, then your team needs to be revisited.
Okay.
You can't afford to be the smartest person.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So now the question, there are other thinking that goes into, so how do you remunerate if you want to get the kind of people who are as skilled? How do you remunerate and all of those things? But go back again to the initial thing I said, what is Parkway? They are people who will not mind taking a pay cut to work in certain organizations today in Nigeria. It's about the brand. It's about what the brand represents. It's about the bragging rights that the brand commands. What does your company represent? So the investment has to be built into that so that they will know that working in this company means this. Part of those investments will also be strategic alliances that the company currently has with other organizations, maybe locally or internationally. I think I've said a lot. So let me know if there are any other things that are left, but I think I've tried to cover the much within the short time that we have to practice. But you have some bit of clarity as to the next lines of action that you need to take.
I actually understand it better now, and I think deep in my mind now, my mind is beginning to crack like this is what I should do instead of this. This is what we should do instead of this. So I'm just going to sit down with my team and see if we can re-strategize and say, okay, this is what's on the table. This is what it is that was given to us from Crackit, by Coach Peter. Thank you so much, sir. I think I understand it better now, and I'm ready to put it to practice. I'm ready to go out there and put the brand out the way it's supposed to be, so that we're able to achieve results, greater results than what it is right now. Even the situation or that dilemma of getting a place or not getting a place, something came to my mind now, and I perhaps we'll talk about it eventually. I don't want to talk about it. I want to act it and bring it out, and I'll still let you know about it. So I must really say a very big thank you to you, sir. This is worth it. This is worth the time. This is worth the energy. This is worth it, honestly. And it makes me feel lighter now, not feeling so heavy like, okay, this is it. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you for coming on the Crackit Live show, and we'll be tracking your results and ensure that the story keeps getting better. We are happy to share your story and how the post Crackit Live featuring is looking. And we are confident that you have gotten to the point of cracking it.
I will crack it, absolutely.
That was such an impact-filled session. I hope you enjoyed today's show, right? Special thanks to our guests and everyone who joined in on today's Crackit Live business show. I want to thank you for your time. To be on the next Crackit Live show as a guest, send us a mail on crackitlive@gmail.com. crackitlive@gmail.com. You can stay updated with new information and events by following us on all our social media platforms at Crackit Live. For sponsorship and event placements or any form of partnership inquiry, kindly send a mail to the email address displayed on the screen, or better still, send it to crackitlive@gmail.com. To book a one-on-one session with me, send an email or drop a DM on Cracklive. Be sure to invite a business owner near you to the next episode of Crackit Live, and I will see you next week. Thank you.